All right. Welcome to another broadcast of the High Net Worth Investors Guide. In the event that you are joining this platform for the first time and you're wondering what is the High Net Worth Investors Guide, do permit me a few to explain. Whether you're in business, as a rising star in business or already established in business, it's important for you to recognize that this in itself is a high net worth exercise. And you begin to understand this when you start to ask yourself, what is the real cost of doing business? Our role here is to really provide you with the tools, the processes, and the systems that can one position you to become a high net worth individual and become fully aware of those tools and processes that you need to use. In today's program, I'm going to be looking at elements of what is the High Net Worth Investors Guide, because the High Net Worth Investors Guide stands on four important pillars. One, you will learn about the law of preparation. And what exactly is this? So under the law of preparation, we'll learn about the art and science of success. And today we'll spend some time talking about that. But you will also learn about the law of application, because after you prepare yourself for success, do you really know how to apply yourself for success? And as now you begin to apply yourself for success, the next step should be about managing your gains. And you need to understand essential management tools to be effective at managing your financial and personal gains. And last but not least, on the High Net Worth Investors Guide, you will also learn about the law of wealth expansion. The last thing that you want to do is to attain wealth, and all it does is it sits in a 0.1% interest bearing account. How do we expand this? Do we use stocks and bonds and mutual funds? Do we use hedge funds, or do we use real estate investment platforms? So as we go deeper into this program over a period of time, you will get a better understanding in terms of how high net worth individual thinks and practice. And perhaps the time will come, if it's not now, for you to apply these systems and processes into your life. Now, today, to support me in discussing the High Net Worth Investors Guide, I have two extremely talented individuals here with me. I have Peter, and Peter represents a very unique organization that is known as Legacy Chronicle. And on the Legacy Chronicle, he has designed a very unique program that really helps you to understand how to develop your personal life master plan, family life master plan, community life master plan, and by extension, your corporate life master plan. So he's the kind of person that will say to you that if you don't have your master plan for life, you in start living. And he will talk to you shortly. I also have Paul, and Paul is the guy that he is the money tree. He's the kind of guy that when you shake him, you get all the money.
Not mine. I just get it from somewhere else.
Okay. Paul is the kind of guy that really helps you to understand how to access capital to grow and scale your business. And he will talk to you about debt financing, equity financing, creative financing. He will really go into financial instruments to not only help you to understand money, but also help you to access the much needed capital that you need to grow and scale your business. So today we're going to have a pretty dynamic conversation on the High Net Worth Investors Guide. With that being said, I want to ask Peter and Paul to give us a short introduction before we go to a commercial break. And then when we come back, we'll do a deep dive into the High Net Worth Investors Guide.
You go,
And we
Peter.
just want to welcome. All right. Okay. Let me jump off by saying yes. So we want to just welcome all our viewers here this afternoon, wherever you are, morning, evening. wherever you are across the globe today. We just want to welcome you to the High Net Worth Investors Guide. And I represent a product, a publishing program. And several years ago, I discovered that there is one of my favorite words that I love to talk about is legacy. And in addition to legacy, what I do realize is that a lot of time individuals might think that, they don't have enough. They might reach a certain age in their lives when they're thinking about posterity, they're thinking about the children and the grandchildren, but they now begin to think, I did not have the real estate, I did not accumulate the financial wealth that I would like to pass on to the next generation. But then what we do realize is that every individual has a wealth of life experience. Every individual have a wealth of knowledge that if they begin to identify certain nuggets in their wealth of experience and their wealth of knowledge, they can begin to tap into another stream of wealth that can be passed on to the next generation. So, being a part of the Net Worth Investors Guide, what we're going to say to individuals as you listen, my focus as my favorite set of people that I speak to from time to time, I like to talk to pastors, I like to talk to ministry leaders, non-profit profits organizers, I like to talk to career professionals and people who are aspiring for entrepreneurship. And what I say to them, it is good if you have already accumulated the large life insurance, the large financial portfolio. If you have already established financially, good for you, good for you. But what we also want to let individuals know is that you have to leave that wealth to somebody else. And it is important that you tap into the stories of your life so that you can train the next generation not to squander what you have what you have worked so hard to accumulate. And for that individual who feel that they have not accomplished enough, what we're saying to you is that your life story has a wealth of information that if you begin to package it now, you will be empowered to leave something for the next generation. And how do we do that? We do that through what we call the Legacy Chronicles Publishing Program. And we help individuals to create what we call the 4 dimensions to master your life. And the 4 dimensions to master your life, we walk individuals through the personal life master plan. You're able now also to map out your family life master plan, your community master plan, and then you top it off with your community life master plan. When you put all that together, you will be able to leave a very impactful legacy for the next generation.
All right, thanks for that share, Peter. Paul, all to you.
I just want to start by saying I love Legacy Chronicles. You're writing a manual for your kids, telling them about your life story. You could write a book focused towards your kids, not focused towards the world, if that's what you chose. So I love what you do, Peter. My name's Paul from Patriot Business Finance Consultants, and to make a longer story short, whatever financing you need for your business, we have sources to connect you with that. You could call us brokers. We reject that. We're consultants because we care more. And how do we prove that we care more to you? It's called least expensive money. We're not just going to go get it as quick as we can so that we can make a couple of dollars off of you by not doing a good job and just getting a product. We can find the best product for you. You want a race car with your financing. You want it finely tuned, running as good as it can. That's what we do. So equipment financing, any industry, any state, any credit, any equipment, factoring, purchase order financing, real estate financing, non-owner occupied, investment, commercial, and if you need to raise capital for a large project, we are scouts for 2 investment bankers, and these guys are awesome. They're outstanding. They've been doing business since the big business since the 80s, and they're incredible people, and they do it the best for you also. The least expensive money first, with their permission, I asked, because that's what they said. When they raise capital, don't just go for all equity. Don't take the bait and make it easy for the capital raised group that you hired. And when I say hired, because just so you know, it does cost money to raise money. Contrary to what you hear, I like throwing information and facts out. Okay, but professional capital raising groups does cost to engage with them. When you engage with them, they're not all equal. Some care more, some just want to get it done for you. They're all held to a standard by the Securities and Exchange Commission. But what am I really driving at? I'm hitting you with this. You could stair step it. Grant money, nothing is free. Local government money, very cheap. Bonds, if that applies to raising capital in your industry, very, cheap. Lender money, more expensive, but not as expensive as investor money. So maximize the less expensive money, minimize the high cost money, equity. That's what these guys do. Everything I've spoken might just sound like I'm rambling. I'm driving to a point. The point is, if you need financing for your business, small to large, that's what we do. And we'd love to work with you. PatriotBFC.com is the website, Paul@PatriotBFC.com. And if you're seeing me here, then you're working with everybody here, not just me, because we're a team. So thank you.
All right, thanks for that share, Paul. With that being said, we'll take a break. And when we come back, I'll start a little talk on what I call the art and science of success. And the art and science of success is relevant to you in business and it's relevant to you in life. And one of the reasons we're looking at this is because we see many persons, you struggle in life to make your financial breakthrough. And we are here to provide you with information, with tools, a supportive community that can help you get there faster. So we'll take a short break and we will be right back.
The High Net Worth Investor's Guide, where art meets science. Explore tools, processes, and systems that empower you to accelerate your journey to a 7-figure business. Access smart funding solutions for 6- and 7-figure enterprises. Harness capital for multiple income streams. Master the art and science of debt mitigation to build wealth faster. Experience comprehensive business support to propel your success at a budget that suits you. The High Net Worth Investor's Guide is tools, processes, and systems that influences success. Portal Summit. Are you a rising star in business academia, public speaking, sports, law, medicine, or an influencer? Becoming a best-selling author can open doors to connect with top figures in various fields. Discover how the Bestseller Portal team can assist you. 1. Assisting clients in the creation, refinement, design, and publication of their books, biographies, and autobiographies. 2. Strategizing and executing promotional campaigns while navigating global markets and linguistic diversity to enhance the visibility of your literary works. 3. Nurturing our clients' transformation into esteemed public speakers and influential thought leaders. 4. Elevating your books into dynamic digital learning content. 5. Cultivating multiple streams of income from your literary works and beyond. Enroll today for the prestigious Bestseller Portal Annual Summit and position yourself as an eminent authority and trailblazer within your chosen sphere.
All right. Welcome back to the High Net Worth Investor's Guide. I want to get the ball rolling by examining some important concepts. And I want to begin by asking the question, is there really an art and science to success? I think it's a very important question that you should ask yourself. Now, we have developed the High Net Worth Investors Guide to really help businesses and the average individual to understand a blueprint and a pathway to attain success. On this blue and pathway to success, we talk first of all about the law of preparation. Now, what the law of preparation looks like. First of all, you will learn about the art and science of success, but you will also learn about evidence-based marketing, evidence-based leadership, and evidence-based management. And all of this collapse under the heading that we call the law of preparation. What I will do today is to attempt to give a somewhat high-level overview of what art and science of success represents. And then I'll break it down so the average person can understand exactly what I'm hinting on. Now, the art of success, I want to begin to say that it lies in the belly of process, methods, and reasons for adopting tools that you're using to attain success. So art is the method of approach that you're going to be using. That's an art. And I will break it down further. The science is more the results of applying that art. And let me give an example of what I'm saying here. The world over understands KFC. And KFC in itself represents the taste, the taste. But if you divorce the process to get that taste, you only get chicken. But when you understand that process to get the taste, the end results, that process is what gives you consistency in the results that you want. So the art is the process that they're using to get the end results, the taste. The same principle applies to wealth creation. But just before I get to wealth creation, I want to emphasize this. Persons are very comfortable with the end results of things. We all experience what is light, but do we understand the process to get to that light? Similar, do we understand the process to get the taste of KFC? We all have an appreciation of wealth creation, but do we understand the process that is going to take you to wealth consistently every time? And it's largely because most persons do not understand the process. Most persons struggle in starting a business and scaling that business for that business to be successful, or identifying investment portfolio and failing in those investment portfolios because you don't fully understand the process that is going to give you the end results, that KFC taste, that financial success taste. This is Success Leaf Clues. And when you take the time to really study and understand successful people, you would both understand the processes that they're using that is giving them the consistent results that they so desire. Another example that I want to use in terms of art and science. Paul, in his field as a financial expert, he understands the process that is going to give him scientific results consistently, and that is to get you the capital that you need to be successful in business. And had he not understand that process, he would have been experimenting. All right, the difference between an experiment and scientific results is that scientific results is a standard process that once you repeat that process consistently, you get the same results consistently. It's different than an experiment. So I'm saying here, in other words, we're not here to experiment. We're here to provide you scientific proof and scientific data to ensure that we are helping you to attain the level of success that you want. The same principle applies to Peter. The reason Peter is going to say, look at your master plan. your personal life master plan. Developing the personal life master plan is the process. The results that Peter wants with you is that you must be able to master and refine who you are. So you're now able to be a greater asset in the world, a greater asset in society. The same principle comes back to wealth. The reason you're going to struggle to attain success in business, the reason you're going to struggle to attain financial wealth is largely because you don't fully understand the process. So with the High Net Worth Investors Guide, we start off this program by helping you to understand that there is the art and the science of success. And it's important that you really take the time to understand this. Now, if you don't understand it, my advice is to find a professional that can help you in business, that can help you in mitigating in access to capital, leveraging capital, and mitigating debt, because there's an art and there's a science to all of this. Whether we refer to as an art or science, it doesn't change the fact that when you understand the process that's going to consistently give you the results that you want, that's what's going to enable you to be more successful. So with a High Net Worth Investors Guide, we start by looking at the law, the art and science of success, and then we break this down into what we call the principle as it relates to evidence-based marketing. And why do we bring in the evidence-based marketing? Because marketing is a set of tools that begins with research. Research helps you to get the information that you need to make better, smarter business and life decisions. It's evidence-based. And then we talk about evidence-based leadership. I'm just giving a high-level overview today. We talk about evidence-based leadership. And what is evidence-based leadership? It's not just leading in a vacuum, but it's taking a type of leadership that you know is designed to give you an end result. It's a set of tools and processes and systems that is going to give you the end results that you're looking for. Just like KFC, they understand that by using this particular formula consistently, it will consistently give you the results that you want. Evidence-based leadership. So the last concept that we look at under the law of preparation here is what we call evidence-based management. It's not just management in a vacuum, it's managing with a clear and a strategic vision in mind. So I just want to lay this foundation here to really help our audience to understand that we have really commit multiple years to refine and develop these contents to bring to you, because we want you to be successful. And as Paul would have said, we are a team here, all right? And we brought together this team to be able to serve you at the highest level in business and at the highest level of your personal and professional achievement. So I just want to start off there, my colleagues, and I would love to hear from you guys in relation to the respective brands that you represent, and perhaps you can also chime into some of the points I would have made. Over to you, my friends. Peter, you're mute.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right. So, we're talking about, as we're looking at empowering people to become high net worth investors, and this is a guide that individuals can come and hear some important facets of what that looks like. But I'm going to start with the basis of what is success, because what we do find that success may come in many forms. And when you come here to the Investor's Guide, more likely you're going to hear about financial success, because that is a great deal of what is necessary where our world is concerned. Everything that you do, finance, money is the very oxygen of our economic life. If we do not have money, we are stifling economically, and a great portion of the globe is struggling to maneuver to navigate through life in a way that is humane and having a sense of dignity because of the lack of financing, the lack of understanding how money works. But financial success is built upon other layers. And what you have there's three main dimension of success that I would say. And when we're helping people to understand how to design their master plan, we bring individuals to understand that the finances that you're seeking is built upon relationship. If you do not have a healthy relationship, more likely you're not going to have the finances that you're looking for. As a matter of fact, the finances that you're looking for is going to even become more accelerated when you have healthy, when you learn how to build and maintain, not just to build, but how to maintain healthy relationship. And a large part of financial success also largely depend on health, because it's if you do not, if you're not healthy, then more likely you won't have the stamina, you won't have the wherewithal, because everything now, the basis of having good health will elevate you in your access toward communication and being able to connect with individuals with whom you want to relate with, so that you can develop that financial wealth. So those three components, health, wealth, and relationships, we want to be successful. So, what is the art and the science of success? Basically, it's going to be built upon health, understanding how important um, health, wealth, and relationships are concerned. Now, with that, everything now operates through dimensions, and I like the concept of dimensions from the sense that life is multidimensional. Like when I say dimensions, I'm talking about the way how we operate. And let me break it down in a basic understanding. I mentioned this earlier, is that when you're approaching, to find success as an individual, what you will understand that the book stops here. Everything stops and start with you. And when you understand who you are, because if we do not understand who you are, who I am, then nothing else makes sense. So having that dimensional approach to life is an understanding that the first level of success that you will need to have is to figure yourself out. What is your contribution to life? Any great entrepreneur who has been successful, as we are discovering, financial success, what it is, they understand that there are problems in the marketplace. There is gaps in the marketplace. There are needs in the marketplace, and it so happens that they have an idea, or they have a product or a service that can meet those needs, and that is a result of something coming out of their concepts, out of their mind. And most individuals who are able to do this are individuals who have gained a certain level of comfort and mastery, where their personal life is concerned to a great degree. By extension, what we also, the other dimension that we want people to take into consideration now, as we mentioned earlier, is your family. You can attain all the success financially where you're concerned, but if you don't have somebody to share that wealth with, an inner circle of individuals that care for you and you care for them, if you do not have that family life um, in a circle around you, then all the money in the world is just it becomes it lacks its luster, it lacks its purpose and its reason when you do not have the family to share that with. And we do understand that the third dimension of success, as we are relating to finances, really is contribution to community. Everything that you do is going to impact, or will is a matter of serving people and people receiving what the value that you are creating, that you are giving to the community. It is people buying into your ideas. It is people being loyal to you um, and what you have to contribute, that is going to generate that kind of finance that you are seeking to have. And then the third dimension now is, what are the structures by which we are going to create that sense of um, ability? That what are the structures upon which you are going to design those other three layers that will keep them, that they can, there is a sense of understanding and agreement and corporate practicality in what we do and how we do it. So those four dimensions, once we are pursuing success, we can't get around personal, we can't get around the sense of family, we can't get around community, and by no means we're not going to survive if we do not have rules and regulations and a set of principles that forms a corporate structure by which we can equate and work with each other amicably. So that is my, as Gary demonstrate the sense of building those instruments by which individuals can advance in the world. Then it is layered on these four concepts that I believe will help individuals to live balanced, to live balanced as we work on the success that we're looking for. You're muted,
Yeah,
Gary.
yeah, correct. Yeah, yeah. I was just saying that yes, having a master plan that goes across the spectrum of life is very important. Paul?
Well, if we're talking about, is there an art and science to business? Yes, obviously. There's an art and science to every single thing. There's an art and science to walking. There's a science, is how your bone structure is, right? The art is pulling it off and overcoming the rocks or the potholes. So there's an art and science to everything. Science, in my opinion, is the practical, tested, verified way to do it. Here's the steps to open. I always say pizza shop. Here's the steps to opening a pizza shop. Here's the steps to writing a book. You name it. Here's the steps to it. Okay. The art is being creative, able to adjust to actually do it, because it's really not just following the steps. There's more to it than just following the steps. There's a lot more to it. Effort, ability to withstand criticism, ability to not have money while you're building your business, right? So that's probably the art. Everything you can think of that's difficult is the art. Being able to withstand that is the art. Being able to enjoy the success is the art. Then after that, you got everything in between. What is everything in between? That's the 20, 30, or 40 years that between when you started what you're doing, your project, and your project can be maybe not business, it can be life, it can be something, but we're talking about business. So you start your business 20, 30, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, that's everything in between. All the good stuff, all the stuff that was hard, but then you get to look back on it and say, wow, look what I did. And then Legacy Chronicles, you write that down, your great grandkids are going to read about it. They don't just have to hear about it, because people will forget all the details, and the details are important, and the details are fun, and the details are hard, but they're definitely worth it if you can get a successful business.
All right, that was a great share. Along with that, Paul, can I ask you to tell us a little bit about at least one financial instrument that businesses can come to the community for in the event that they need funding?
Okay, Let's talk about equipment financing. Every single business needs equipment. So how do you get it? Pay cash. No, keep your cash for opportunities and emergencies. Bank finance it. That can work, but your bank's um, approval policy, they're tight, right? You got to fit within the box. If you don't fit within their box, typically 680, 660 credit score and above, then you're out. Doesn't matter how long you bank there, we can't do this for you. And if they can do it for you, the terms are either going to be equal to ours, or we are most times going to be better, because the bank's going to want a lot of money down. If they're going to finance a piece of equipment for your business, what do you think they want in return? They don't do equipment leasing at most banks. What they do is a business loan. That business loan will cover all assets of your business. Everything, your accounts receivable, your real estate. It's one blanket lien. If you do equipment financing, equipment leasing through us, not your bank, here's the benefits. Number one is leasing. There's tax advantages to leasing. That's why the biggest companies in the world lease it. So do what the biggest companies in the world do, lease equipment so you get tax advantages. There would be less money down, typically between us and the bank. The lenders that we represent, that's the only thing they do. They lease equipment. That's it. They don't do auto loan, credit cards, and savings. They only do that. They're focused. You want to work with specialists, not generalists. And so less money down. It's an equipment lease. Easier approvals for sure. Super fast turnaround time. And if you have difficult credit, we can solve that for you. We will get you approved. Here's facts. It's going to cost some money down. If you've been in business 3 years plus, you really got it going on, good to excellent personal credit, you're putting first, maybe last payment down on an equipment lease, or 10%, depends on the structure of the deal, or you can pay that 10% at the end. There's always a 10% buyout with equipment leasing. But if you got difficult credit, there's going to be money down. But here's the good news. You get the equipment that you need to expand your business and make it more profitable. You don't have to pay cash. So you're not draining the account. You're not borrowing it from the investor. We can get you approved. $500,000 piece of equipment, you need probably very difficult credit. You're looking 20, 30% down. So what's that? 500,000, 10, 100,000 down for 20% down. You're like, I don't want to put 20,000 down. Yeah, I don't want to put 100. You only have to put 100. The other 400 is financed. You don't have to pay it out of pocket. Your credit score improves. And the next time you do this, 2 or 3 or 4 years down the road, it's easier. So that's just one thing that we offer, Gary, is equipment financing through equipment leasing, because that's the best way to do it. And we want to work with everybody and help them out. And when I threw that $500,000 number out there, here's the range that we work within: $1,000 and up. So $40,000 is the minimum, all the way up to $10 million for equipment leasing. The largest of manufacturers, the biggest pieces of equipment that you can put in your factory can be leased. If you want to buy a dump truck, that's used dump truck, $40,000. You can finance it through us. We can set you up with an equipment lease. So that's the range. That's the dollar amount. That's the range of credit we can get done. Best credit gets the best, lowest cost of money, best deal. Most difficult credit gets approved. And that approval stair steps you up as your paydex and your personal credit score improve over the time that you make these payments on time. Next time you do it, you are golden. It's an easy walk in the park deal. And remember, if you need equipment, if your business is growing and you don't get the equipment that you need, then all that money that you could make, if you had twice the equipment, you're not going to make it. So.
All right. Thanks for that share.
Yeah.
Paul, that again was very insightful. You learn here about equipment financing. And what are the advantages with equipment financing is that you don't necessarily have to put down the money. And with Paul, you have a strategic approach that you can use where you retain the monies, but you have the leasing process that kicks in there, and that gives you full advantage of the equipment while retaining your capital to put back into the business.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
what I want to say also, in addition to what Paul would have said, is that on our platform, it's a comprehensive business ecosystem. While we can say we're going to settle to just help you to understand financial instruments and say kudos, mission accomplished, we have made a decision that we want to go 3 steps further. So, step one is to really work with you so you understand which is or are the best financial tools for you to be using. In the case that Paul would have just explained, it may be better for you to do leasing than to do equity or debt financing to move a process of your business forward. And the reason we're giving you this information is to help you to make better business decisions. So on this platform, I want to say, and in this community, we are literally able to help US based businesses to access debt, equity, credit, creative financing, hard money lending. In the wider Caribbean, we are now developing strategic approaches that can help you in the wider Caribbean. And we are now playing with a concept, and I can share this with you, that we call Smart Capital Raise. Perhaps next week we're going to spend some time discussing with you what is Smart Capital Raise. So businesses across the world and can tap into these various portfolios that we are now designing to bring to you. So on one side, you get to understand financial instruments. On the other side, you get to understand how to access, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to hear about money, 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 and you still don't know how to access it. But you don't have to worry about accessing. All you need to do is to reach out to the community. And within this community, we will do everything practically possible to help you to access the capital. So whether you have a FICO score that stands at 500 or 680, we're going to work with you. All right, 540, we're going to work with you to carry it up to 680, and even work with you to carry it up into the 700, where you will be able to negotiate for a better annual percentage rate. Along with this, we will work with you, and that's where master planning comes into play too, especially the business master plan, is to really help you to leverage, identify the smartest ways to leverage the capital. Because guess what we see? Very often you access capital, but it becomes a liability because you didn't have a master plan to leverage that capital to ensure that it's bringing you constant, and continuous cash flow. So we work with you to help you to understand how to align strategic planning to accessing capital and leveraging capital. The icing on the cake here, and this is one of the reasons why you would hear me saying that you could make money throughout the financial, deal, throughout the deal. You make deal when you make, you win with money when you are negotiating that deal, when you're leveraging that deal, and when you're exiting that deal, which we call the capital mitigation. In our community, we also work with you to ensure that you have the information and the support to be able to leverage and mitigate debt. Now, in debt mitigation, what it really allows you to do is to manage the cost that you're paying for capital. And one of the things that many rising stars in business may say is that capital cost is high. Yes, that might be true, but guess what else is true? What else is true is the fact that what else is true is the fact that you have control over the costs that you're paying for capital. You have an indirect control over it because of the fact that you can mitigate the cost of capital. But those are systems, those are strategies that when you come into our community, we will then work with you to really help you to understand how to mitigate those processes. So I just want to add that little bit based on what Paul would have said. And I want to just expand it a little bit more to go just a little deeper on evidence based marketing. On our platform, we talk a lot about evidence based marketing because doing business and winning financially is not about guessing, it's about data, it's about information. So, the first element of evidence based marketing is where we talk about market orientation, market oriented. You see, if you want to win in business, you have to ask yourself how sensitive, how oriented are you to the market? You see, making money is now wishful thinking. Scaling a business is now wishful thinking. You need to have data, data of people needs and their wants and their expectation, and you're using this data to help you to make an informed and educated business decision. So when you collect that data, the next step we talk about market sensitivity. Being market sensitive means that you're literally taking that data of people needs, wants, and expectation, and you're really asking yourself, how best can I rise to the occasion to deliver value above and beyond the expectations of the ideal client? This is why we need data. The same principle applies to wealth creation. The same principle, and Peter and Paul said a lot about it. So when you understand this artistic approach and the scientific approach that you should deploy for success, that's what's going to really set you up for success. On this platform, yes, we're going to give you high level overview, but I want to assure you that when you come into the community, we're going to break all of this down because we have more time to do so, to really ensure that you have the information to be successful. All right. Access to capital alone doesn't guarantee your success. Everything else you would hear Peter and Paul talking about here is relevant. You could have the money, but do you know your market? You could have the money, but do you have a product that is truly aligned to the market needs? All of those factors really influence how successful you're going to be, and you need data. All right, so the art and science of success, as Paul would have said, the art is literally a number of moving parts. And the more you understand,
what I want to what I want to throw in there is the perspective. I deal a lot with startup individuals. So they have no money at all. They don't even have they just know they want to become an entrepreneur. Now, how do we apply the art of success? The art of success is simple. What do you have in your hands? What is your skill? What is your expertise? What is that thing you are good at? That's your art. That's your craft. Start right there. We're living in a world, and Gary, you have spoken about this so many times, that probably 50% of Americans, individuals living here in the United States, and if it is so in the United States, then it is even less across the globe.
Yeah.
Do not have $400 stored away for an emergency. Now, so what that is saying is that we are we're always at the brink of a crisis. Now, which individual, on top of that, the United States of America is one of the most indebted nations on the planet right now. As a developed nation, as a developed country, you're talking about multiple trillions of dollars in debt. Now, those trillions of dollars in debt will be passed on to we have been passing it on to generations to generation to generation. But what we're saying here, as an high net worth individual, every individual have to make a decision that the buck stops here. I'm gonna secure my family. You know, whatever happens, if the bottom should fall out, whenever it does fall out, at least my family will not be impacted by that. So where are we going to start? You're gonna start with the art. Coming back to the point, you're gonna start with the art. What do you have in your hand right now? What is that skill? What is that expertise? What is that bit of knowledge that has served you to get to where you are today? That is the art. Now, what you're going to do,
And
you're
what
going to
else?
study the
And
science
just to
of
add
it.
to that, what else you need to learn? Perhaps you have a lot, but
Go ahead,
perhaps
Gary.
there
Go
may
ahead.
be. No, I was just saying, asking yourself what you have is important, but it's important for you to be also be honest with yourself and say, what else do I need to add here as part of my art to attain
Exactly.
success? It might be a mentor, it might be a coach, it might be,
Right.
connecting with others. But great points.
Right.
Go on, Peter. You were saying,
And
Peter,
that's what
go
I
on.
was just about to say. No, we need to understand this. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That we're going to need a science, because the science is going to be, what do I do? What I don't have. So I know what I have, but what now? Because you have what you have, but guess what? You are where you are anyhow. So it just means that I don't know something, and that is where the science now comes in, because now the research has to be made. If I have all of this, why is it that I am not getting what getting to where I need to get? And so the research, so the science now needs to be done. How can I use what I have to achieve what I want? And how can I gather the support? If I don't have it, then how can I have it? And so the research goes into now, because the data is now necessary, to support what I do have. So when I now merge the art of what I have with the research in why I'm not able to move forward, and then I can bring those two together, the gap is now closed, then at least now we can begin to set a path based upon the projections. Now I can make a set of projections. Okay, I need, perhaps now with this, with the lack of knowledge that I do have, now I can find somebody who I can partner with, who is going to now fill the gap that I do have. And now we can have something. It's pretty much what we're doing right here on this platform together. Each of us have a particular set of skills that when we put those set of skills together, we're able to do so much more than what we could have been doing individually by ourselves.
Peter, you made some great points, and you asked a good question just before I come to Paul. You asked the question, how can a startup apply the art and science for success? And you said something earlier. You talk about the power of relationship, the magic of relationship. And as a startup, I can quickly say this. As a startup, you don't have the money, but you have relationship equity.
Right.
What I will do, I will call Paul and I will say, Paul, can you take a seat on my board? Because Paul is going to bring the money. I called Peter and I said, Peter, can you take a seat on my board? You're going to bring the plan. You can call me and say, hey, can you take a seat on my board?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to bring market intelligence. And with market
Mm-hmm.
intelligence, we got the cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
So you made a very, very important point there, relationship. When you take relationship out of the business equation, that business, the strength, the success, the rise and fall of that business completely lies in the hands of relationship. It depends on how we see it. So that was a great point. So I just wanted to bring that together. Peter, Paul, all to you.
Um, yeah, I don't know what to say on this one. Kind of what Peter was
And as you
saying.
finish with that, Paul, not cutting you, Paul, as you finish with
Yeah.
that, I want you to also give us another financial instruments that we can go into and that you can look further into.
Okay. Well, Other financial, programs that would be, let's talk about what most people want to talk about. Most people don't want to talk about factoring because they don't own a manufacturing center.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that, but let's talk about real estate financing. Yeah, you're an existing landlord right now. You're getting money from your bank. You would like to get less expensive money. So that would make it worth talking to us to see if we can get that accomplished for you. Easier approvals. That's what we can do better than your bank with real estate financing for investment properties. Now, I just said experienced investor who's already doing it. Let's talk about somebody who wants to do it, because we like to talk a lot about startups and helping people start something that they want to get into. We'll walk you through the process here, and here is the truth. Here is the process as far as how to become a landlord. Couple ways. I'm going to tell you one way right now that doesn't involve coming to us. I don't make a dime off of this. Creative financing. You can go to somebody and you can say, how about I give you a couple thousand down? Depends on where you're at in the world or in the country. Then you're going to need more than a couple thousand down. Depends on how expensive the property is. But people will let you lease to own. Land contract is called different things in different states. And you can take control of the property. You're making money with real estate. You're making money on ownership because you got, property values rise. You gain equity. But, you're also making money by use of it. So you can make an agreement, take control of that property, rent it out, and make cash flow. That's what you do if you have such difficult credit or such a scenario, like, maybe a bad credit score and you haven't filed taxes for years. If you got a bad credit score and you filed taxes, I can help you. If you haven't, nobody's going to do that. You got to come out, you got to be more creative. And that's tying into what you were just talking about, the art, being creative. You have no options. How can you be so creative that you will win? You can do it. Just think about it. Read stories of people who've done it. And with that story I just described you on how to be really creative. Now, I want to work with you. I'm not going to talk you out of working with me, because we want to help you get real estate financing also. But like I said, that's one of the things that I help people with when they say, I don't have down payment money, but I want to get into this right away. Well, here's how you can do it with less money. Free information, because I want you to win right now, not have to wait until you save up the 20 or 30% down payment. Speaking of 20 or 30% down payments, the most successful person in America, if they're buying investment real estate, 20% down. Nobody gets zero down investment property ever. So that's the best case scenario you can hope for. 740 and above credit score, experienced real estate investor. I can get you 20% down. And if we're doing rehab, fix and flips, I can actually get you 90% loan to value. The numbers just have to match along the way, because that's another thing we do. There's purchase of investment real estate, right? There's fix and flips. You want to fix and flip the house? I've got a program for that. You want to build investment property? We got a lender program for that. So all of those things are things that we can help you with excellent credit or even difficult credit. Okay, that's and I'm going to say what you said, because this was funny when you just said it, Peter. A particular set of skills. What, did you just watch Taken with Liam Neeson? That what you did earlier today? A particular set of skills. Okay. Right, well, our lenders have a particular set of skills. These types of products I'm just describing right now, that's a lender group that I represent, lenders with a particular set of skills. Let's talk about another real estate lender with particular set of skills. Hard money lenders, super difficult credit. And let me get rid of that myth. There's people with excellent credit who use hard money lenders because there's a tactical reason to do it. strategy. They want to take control of the property within like 10
Speed
days or
of
2 weeks.
execution.
Yeah. You pay for that. And very rarely, but sometimes I hear, I'm not paying a 14% interest rate. If you're going to pay a 14% interest rate and you're going to get it done in 10 days for 3 months because you're going to take ownership and then flip it and make a massive profit, which is going to make that 14% that you paid for 3 months nothing, because it really is nothing. It's a couple $1,000, maybe. Those are tactics that people use. So hard money lenders, I got you covered on that. And when we talk with you, we're going to, as consultants, listen to what you're trying to get accomplished and then show you the best way to do it and then get it done for you.
Fantastic.
I'm going to watch taken after the show.
Good. I'm going to make a quick statement, and then I want to ask a question to Paul. And as you look at real estate, a lot of things that you would have mentioned is absolutely true. Even with a 400 credit score, you can get financing. All right. Traditional institutions, they would want 680 and above before you get approved. But what I like about a lot of what was said is that when you get into real estate, there is so much of platforms and opportunities for you to start building wealth. Because one, when you're buying commercial real estate, you are going about investment in the right way. All right, all being equal. Well, what happened here, Paul, after perhaps immediately after purchase, because you have equity, you can take out a HELOC. That means you are leveraging the equity in the estate, and you're taking the excess, equity to put it into other income producing asset. So that cycle of wealth creation is being created. Now, in the High Net Worth Investors Guide, these are things that we are not only saying to you is possible, but these are things that we can fund you and give you that support to realize your real estate ownership. All right, these are things that we are doing. The question that I want to ask Paul, in my experience in terms of getting capital approved, divorce from the traditional bank, hard money lending, hard money lending, I'm able to get feedback from funders within less than 24 hours. Can you talk to us a little bit about the speed? They can come back to me and say, hey, based on the data that I have here, I'm going to allocate X amount. And I can get that feedback in less than 24 hours. Within a few hours, my team could call me back. Talk to me a little bit about the speed in which you can get that green light and closing that process.
Okay. We're going to talk about two different things then. If we're talking about like regular financing, equipment financing, real estate financing.
No, not a regular one. Let's go to hard money lending.
Oh.
Because the regular takes long.
No, it doesn't. Here's the thing that hard money lending, real estate lending, and equipment financing. Here's the process. We send you an application, fill it out, Adobe AutoSign, sign it. There's going to be a list of other information that we need from you. Get that back to us. We got it. We submit it to the lender. A lot of these lenders, 4 hours later, I've got the answer. The longest that it takes, if I do it in the morning, afternoon, I've got it. End of day, worst case. If it is a, $4 million deal and up, okay, they're gonna take a day. You know what I'm saying? So that takes a day. So that's hard money lending, real estate lending, equipment financing. If we're talking factoring, if we're talking purchase order financing, it's about a week process to get signed up with that process before you can use those programs. And if you're talking about a capital raise, okay, then it
Yeah. So the
you're
underwriting for the hard money, writing for the hard money in your context, it could be wrapped up within a week or two.
well, the deal could be wrapped up in 10 days to 2 weeks. That's the speed of execution. Speed. I thought you were talking about speed of approval before I got a term sheet to present to the client.
Yeah.
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 Day,
I
day
just
one,
want
I
to
got the term sheet.
Yeah, I just want the audience to at least get a picture in terms of speed of execution.
Okay.
And
Well,
again, go
let me
ahead.
throw this to you real quick. Hard money lending, 10 days, less than 2 weeks, we're closing the deal for them. The faster the client gets us the info, the faster it goes. Equipment financing, you can have the piece of equipment, you can go pick it up in 3 or 4 days. I mean, we got all the information right away. You can get it immediately, realistically. If it's a big piece of equipment, it might take a week. If you're getting equipment delivered on a truck, whenever it gets there is when it gets there. So, and then regular good credit real estate financing, you're looking about 2 or 3 weeks to get that deal done, maybe a month.
All right. So for the audience, you're hearing us, we can get you approved in the shortest possible time.
Mhm.
So that's another advantage for you to come on board with us. We get you approved fast. And as Paul would have said, hard money lending ain't got no hold on you because you're working with a team that's going to say to you, okay, it's hard money lending. It might be a little bit more expensive, but the life cycle of the debt is not years. It may be weeks, a couple of months, and then we work with you to refinance if you need to refinance at a lower annual percentage rate. Or you're flipping. So it doesn't matter. You're flipping. And you're not going to get the kind of money in the short period of time if you go the traditional route. So all of those advantages what we bring to you when you come into our community to get support. So thanks for that share,
If I,
Paul.
if I
Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, just as you and Paul are discussing, and it just came to mind about those individuals who might be hearing us for the first time, and this is something you're talking about financing, and this is something that they have always desired to do. The science of success, right? Because a lot of people they don't have because they don't know. And here is where the science of success is concerned, because the science of success is data driven. We just don't know what we don't know. And sometimes we can be so close to success and don't recognize it because we don't know what it looks like. So, what we're saying to those individuals who are viewing this broadcast is this: you want to be, proximity is very important. Network, the worth of your network is very, very important. And anything that you want to accomplish, it's always important for you to gain proximity to that. It is always important to learn the language, to become acquainted with the conversation, and to understand the regulations and the rules thereby, so that at least there is that knowledge, that base, that information, um, um, that information process that will acquaint us to whatever it is that we're desirous of having. So what we're saying here, in lifting and highlighting the science of success, even as you gentlemen were speaking, is that get around what we want to inform and encourage individuals to get around individuals who know what you don't know. You have a desire for something. Start with, and that itself is a financial instrument. Knowledge is a financial instrument because now you know. When you know, at least you can begin to act. It might not, you might not be able to take advantage of the deal right now,
It's
but
better
if
than
you
money,
know,
Peter.
yeah,
It's
you
better
understand?
than money.
Yeah, you understand? But at
Yeah.
least now you have a plan. Now you can create a master plan that, okay, this is all new to me, but give me 6 months, give me a year, give me 18 months, at least that level of hope, that level of the confidence that comes out of, okay, my life can begin to change now. I don't have zilch. I don't have it. You don't have it now. As Paul would say, you are approved. You may not be approved right now, but because you are in alignment with the information, with the science of success, with the information, knowing what you ought to do, then we can begin to take those baby steps. Because whether you act or not, time is passing. So what we're saying is get that plan in place, get that design, that plan, that master plan that looks at life. Okay, this is where I am. This is where I'm coming from. This is where I'm going to be. Let me align myself with individuals who are knowledgeable of this process, and let me glean, let me draw from that body of information. Next year, the next second year, third year, you're looking back at where you're coming from, and you are amazed just by alignment and association and proximity. Life completely changed.
Yeah. You're mute, Paul.
Peter, it starts with you telling yourself that you're approved. Tell yourself that
Mhm.
either before I tell it to you or before you tell it, before you come to me to try to, fill out the application and get approved. You got to tell yourself that you're approved and then fill in the blanks. If you got difficult credit, you know it's going to cost money down. You know it. So
Mhm.
filling in the blanks is organizing that money. And that goes back to the art of finding out how to do it, being creative, right? Go get it from
Yeah.
somewhere. Somebody's got it and somebody's willing to give it to you if that's what's needed.
Yeah.
So tell yourself that
Uh,
you're approved.
yeah. What we can do next week, we'll talk about this some more, Paul and Peter, is to help the public to understand how to prepare for equipment financing and how to prepare for real estate financing
Mhm.
or how
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
prepare for credit. So at least they have a blueprint as to when they're coming to us, how to get themselves prepared. Or if they're not really prepared, we also have a system that we can help them to get prepared for success. Well, you mentioned a couple of things, Paul, that you're able to provide from $40,000 up to $2 million in capital. Some businesses may not be ready for that 40,000 US dollars. Um, so perhaps we may have to work with them at the trade line level, at the credit line level, build up a portfolio with them, perhaps build up the confidence level, and then we take them over. So we look at these different how to prepare yourself for success. And quickly, I want to share something, and then I'm going to ask for the wrap up remarks. I recently read two books. One is The Richest Man in Babylon, and I encourage everybody to go get that book, read that book. And the most recent one is The Magic of Thinking Big. you know, I encourage everybody to go read those books. And The Magic of Thinking book is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful read. And it really can help you to retool your thinking, reshift
Mhm.
your focus. Because one of the things that it's hinted on is that if you think you can do it,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
But if you think you can do it,
Still
you
right.
are also right, you know. So on this platform, we really want to provide you with not just the information, but the support, the mentorship, the coaching, and the sponsorship, right? To ensure that you're thinking big and you're going after big things in life. Because we know that when you believe in yourself, there's really no limit to the great things that you can achieve. All right. You're the only person limiting yourself. Or perhaps you allow another person to limit how far you go. but you have control over that. So, with that being said, I'm going to ask Peter, love to hear your closing remarks, and then we come to Paul, and then we wrap up for today. You mute, Peter.
Yes, yes. Well, let's just start with the point that you raised a while ago, because that leads right into what I like to talk about, the personal life master plan.
Yes,
And I tend not even to go to the family life and the corporate life, because the family life and the corporate life is, and the community life is just uh, at different levels of the same personal life master. It's just the same application, but it just means more people. Because once we learn to understand the space between our two ears, and once we begin to understand our sense of who we are, once we begin to have that sense of who I am, and we know our place in the vast field that we call life. Once we get that together, everything else begin to fall in place, and there's a power of attraction when we sort ourselves out. And so this is why, especially at this time of the year, when individuals are thinking about New Year's resolution, what they want to accomplish with life, people are looking back at their lives last year or the months that is past, and they are doing the evaluation. And I must encourage I must encourage individuals, um, please do, because if you do not evaluate, what it means is that you're going to repeat all the failures that has been made in the months and weeks and years that has passed. And we do not want to contribute to the problems in our world. We do not want to be a contributor to the difficulties that is in the world. The way how we can become a solution is when we begin to take note of, okay, what can I do differently? Because and people have aspirations, but they say it is a crazy person. Is that the term? It is a crazy person who keep
yeah,
expecting a
take it
different.
too big. Oh,
Huh?
results by doing the same thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
they have big aspirations, but they have not really begin to think about how can what am I doing wrong, and how can I make that incremental change. So, and it takes, and here is where the science comes in, because it requires information. It needs data. And so what we're saying to individuals is, sit yourself down and write that master plan. A master plan. And somebody, maybe what I need also is to break down the components, the step-by-step components that goes into a master plan design. But even if you don't know, if you ask yourself two questions, two basic questions, life will begin to give you the answers. If you look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, who are you? And if you sit yourself in a quiet place and you ask yourself, who am I? You will be surprised that something is going to speak to you. Life is going to speak to you and give you an answer. And those two questions will begin to attract people in your life who will help you to evaluate and begin to create a design, a life design, that when you make a projection for the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, you will be shocked. Next year, this time, you are looking back at today and you are surprised how far your life has come and how much your life has changed.
on that point too, Peter, it's not necessary at all times. Just to add to what you say, it's not all times about taking big steps. Sometimes it's the baby steps. It's laying one block at a time, one block. And believe me, the wall is going to be up. That one block is better than laying nothing at all. It's better than laying nothing at all. So, love your share there, my friend. Paul, the
Yeah,
man with the money.
the man who sources the money and gets it for you. Yeah.
Yes, my man. Peter, Paul don't want to be the target, right? I wouldn't be funny.
I just
He
know where to
puts
go
his
get
stuff.
it. You're the one who
Well, proximity is
you got
key.
all the gold
Proximity
on.
is key.
He said proximity is enough. Okay, Paul,
Yeah.
go right ahead.
You're the one who's got all the gold on, right?
Exactly.
Proximity.
Very flashy, like flashy again.
Right?
Your necklace now.
Proximity. All right, I take it.
Hey, the man is from Guyana, man. Guyana is known as a place where good gold is from, right?
Yeah, man. We got the milk and honey running here, man. So I'm gonna flash a little bit, right?
Well, there is an art and a science to a business, just like every single thing. Just learn how to do it and do it. It's not hard. It's not hard. Just do it. We can help you with the financing. Peter can help you with the master plan. Gary can help you with the logistics. Financing is available. You drive, that's people put that on store windows and that increases business, right? Financing's available. Let's stop there and check it out. Well, I'm telling you right now, financing is available and you're approved. So what are you waiting for? Take action. And like our friend TJ, I told you what TJ's statement is. No, I don't know if I interviewed him or he wasn't on here yet. Okay. His statement is you can and act now. So that's what I'm telling you too, is you can and act now, whatever you want to do. If you're in business and your bank declined you for financing for real estate or equipment, that's not the end of the world. That's the bank. That's their programs. We can get you approved because we have a lot of lenders and they want to say yes. And they're looking for that style of business because they know it exists. So you're approved. Just get a hold of me. Okay. Do it now. And then real estate financing, same thing. I mean, it's going to cost money down. So if you're going to get into real estate, you have to have the money or a way to get it. But if you don't have it and you want the information, then get a hold of me and I'll tell you how it works. You'll have the info. You can act now. And there's ways to do it. Like I said, creative ways to do it. You got the credit, but not the down payment. Find somebody with the down payment. Partner with them a bunch of times. Build your bunch of money. Then go out on your own. Or reverse it. You got the down payment, but you need to find somebody with good credit so that deal can happen. So you can buy that piece of property for $200,000 and you know it's worth $450, right? You want to take control of it so you can flip it. Do it now, and you can do it. I'm done. I'll keep rambling, but I'm saying you can do it, and we can help you do it. So, what are you waiting for?
Yes. So thanks for that share. So
Yeah.
believe in yourself and stop procrastinating. You might have been asking yourself for days, weeks, months, or years how to source the capital to move your vision forward. If you're in the US, all right, I want you to reach out to us now. Send us a DM, all right, and we'll be happy to engage with you and start a process to ensure that you're getting the best advice possible to move your vision forward. Now, if you're in the Caribbean, we may not be able to bring debt or equity to you right now, but guess what? We can bring smart capital raise to you. We are still helping you to raise capital the smart way. All right. So again, I want to encourage you to reach out to us because we are here not for the gaff, not for the show, not for the bling bling. It's all about helping you to achieve your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations in business and in life. So, with that being said, I want to thank my colleagues again, Peter and Paul, for being here today. And I look forward to doing this again with you on Monday. In closing, I want to say this: look out very soon to hear more about the BFC, which is you becoming a business finance consultant. It's going to give you a chance to join our team and make massive amounts of money, or there's so much to learn. So just keep following us to learn so much more about becoming a BFC, business finance consultant. All right. Anything on the BFC you want to add, Paul, before we close up?
I'm glad you asked.
Go ahead.
One thing I definitely wanted to add. Now, we all know this is a virtual background, right? I'm usually doing these things at home with you guys. Now I'm at the office and there's better lighting. So
Yeah.
in the virtual background, you see all the lights on the ceiling of the virtual background. Then you see the
Yep.
lights shining off my head. It
Yep.
actually looks like I'm in the factory and I'm getting shined on. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right. So on the BFCs, real quick, if you're hearing this and you want a career change or you know somebody who does, if you know somebody who does, please tell them to get a hold of Gary. Okay? Get a hold of me. Boom. What we're doing is this: 100 business finance consultants. You can be well educated and experienced. We want to work with you. You can graduate from high school and have life experience and desire, but both people, educated or life experience educated, which is best, which is real good. Both are good, but you need to have the desire to make a lot of money, which that sounds silly, but I'm real serious about this. I'm very serious about this. And ability to be creative, and we're going to show you how to do it. And it boils down to as simple as this: what do businesses need? What do they make? They make money, they profit, but you also need money to profit. You need operating capital, you need equipment, you need money to buy the equipment. So what you're selling as a business finance consultant working with us is money. You're selling money, okay? And they need it and they want it. So all you got to do is present it to them, know the programs, know the products. What you can count on from me is 40 hours of training, weekly training, as much as you want. We can schedule, group classes, 2 hours a week, 1 hour a day on, 2 days a week. So constant training and very personal support. You call me and we will be on that phone together. Matter of fact, that's how it's going to work for the first 100 calls that you do. You just need to get the client. You need to tell them you need equipment. I can help you get it under the best circumstances, the best deal structure, lowest cost of money. That's what I do. Also, go ahead and use the new card. I'm new. So let's get on the phone with one of the owners and let's get this done. And by that happening, with the training that we provide you, the weekly training, call me if you got a question as well. But when you're on that call with me and I'm talking to the customer and explaining the process, the programs, how it works, asking them if they want to do it, because you have to ask that. That's a closing. If you can't closing's not a bad. People think you're trying to close. Yes, I am. You're closing. You got to ask for the sale. We'll teach you to ask for the sale. Okay. So all of that, we would be a team together trying to work to the end result where we both make money for our families. That's what we're trying to do. 100 business finance consultants, experienced, unexperienced. If you got a desire, then get a hold of us and we'll commit to you if you commit to us.
Okay, there you had it. This is a golden opportunity and an excellent way to start 2024 as a BFC.
New career.
Yeah, one that is going to work for you. We know that for sure. All right, guys, I trust you would have enjoyed us in social media land, those who are looking at us from across the world. Just thank you for being here today, and feel free to reach out to us. We are here to talk with you. Do enjoy the rest of the weekend, and See you next week.